The junior single sculls is for the Di Ellis Trophy. Winners of these races, these quarterfinals go through to the semis tomorrow, which sees racing at 11:15 and 11:20.
Almond from Merchant Taylor's having a bit of a nightmare there off the start with her steering. You can see she's still, well, pretty much joining the Berkshire station. But it does look like the sculler from Agecroft, Dooley. I think she's got, I don't know, about a length in this early exchange. I think that might be largely part to the fact that the Merchant Taylor's athlete decided to pay a little visit to her station. Agecroft, obviously, another of those names which crops up so often at events like this. And I'm sure they'll be putting out a strong showing at Henley Royal in a couple of weeks' time. But Merchant Taylor's less so. I think they're trying to make a name for themselves on the junior rowing circuit. Obviously a famous school in their own right, but less well known for their rowing. I think they're quite well known for their rugby. Could be talking complete rubbish there, Martin, but from what I know of them. But not making a fool out of themselves here. Almond from Merchant Taylor's. Still in this one. I mean, the Agecroft sculler has what looks like a length and a half now. But in a single scull, one mistake and the race flips on its head. I think a little look over there from the sculler on the Buckinghamshire station from Merchant Taylor's, just to check if she was still in this one, and she'll be pleased to know that she is. She might want to up her rate a little bit. She's sculling at around 30, 31 strokes a minute, which is not the chunkiest of rhythms. Probably want to bring it up a couple of pips if she is looking to regain parity in this quarter-final of the junior single sculls here at an absolutely beautiful Henley Women's Regatta. It really is gorgeous, and it's almost ideal British countryside. Boats poodling up the Thames, people sat on the grass drinking Pimm's and enjoying the finest that the country has to offer in terms of women's rowing. At the moment it is Agecroft Rowing Club on the Berkshire station who lead Merchant Taylor's.
So next up we got Duttart of Twickenham Rowing Club. I followed her race earlier. She's up against Bailey of Christchurch. After that it's Caesar of Monkton Combe. And she's up against Elizabeth Witt of Lady Elmer Hollis, who also I followed whilst commentating earlier. So it's hotting up this singles
I thought you meant in here.
competition. Yeah, it's got a bit warmer, isn't it?
Oh, dear me.
But funnily enough, when you don't notice it when you're out on the river there, there is a little bit of breeze. Conditions good though. There we are at the start, and they are off. Duttart, Twickenham, Bailey from Christchurch Rowing Club. She is on the right-hand side, the far side, over towards the island. And it's Duttart of Twickenham Rowing Club on the Berkshire station nearest to the bank. Right, they head towards the end of the island, and it's the Twickenham sculler that has the advantage at the moment. We're going past the top of the island about now, and that's just short of a length, I reckon. Advantage to the sculler from Twickenham. Looking at the top of the screen there, you can see the closing stages of the first of these quarterfinals, with Dooley of Agecroft coming home ahead of Almond and Merchant Taylor's. She'll progress through to the final just after 11 tomorrow morning. And the race that's now just approaching, just gone past quarter distance. Duttart of Twickenham, Bailey of Christchurch Rowing Club. And it's the Twickenham sculler that has a lead of, what's that, Tom? Length and a half?
Yeah. Yeah, just about edging clear water.
So that's a whole boat length and half again. Maybe that's 2 boat lengths now, is it? 1 3/4. We'll see when the scullers pass us. But Bailey here at Christchurch now really cannot let go of her tail if she's hoping to progress through to the semis tomorrow. She's got to be aware of where the Twickenham girl is and just try and get an overlap. Just get something to hang on to.
Well, she's certainly not out of this one. That's no more than a length and a half.
Mature sculling though, the girl from Twickenham. She's sitting up strong. She's moved over to the middle a bit. So if there is any advantage to chucking down some dirty water on your opponent, then that's the game to play. The umpire's not interested in moving her back on her own station, so she's sat pretty much in the middle with length and a half lead, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say so. Certainly not more power going down in the Twickenham boat.
Yeah, but she's not moving away though, is she?
No, she's not. And actually that's credit to the sculler from Christchurch. She's holding on and holding her own. It'll be interesting to see as this race progresses down whether the narrative changes somewhat and the Christchurch sculler can turn this race on its head. Because it's eminently possible in a single and an 8, perhaps not. But a single, as I said earlier,
you can accelerate them.
absolutely.
So you've got to sit far enough ahead to respond to the threat, but you don't want to go and waste all your energy by winning by half the river.
Yeah.
You've still got a race to do tomorrow.
Well, speaking of the next race, you've got race 2-1-1. Now just left the stake boats between Monkton Combe on the left-hand side of your picture and Lady Eleanor Hollies on the right-hand side of your picture. So that's the Berkshire and Buck Station, respectively. And they're very far apart.
I'll keep doing a bit. I'm doing a bit of. Is that yoga I'm doing, or what was I doing?
Pilates,
Limbo,
yeah,
Pilates.
something like that.
Basically, I dropped something on the floor and was too lazy to get up and pick it up. But blimey, I've done myself an injury. Wounded while commentating on single sculls, it says on the accident claim form. Right, here we go with the next of the heats. Bottom left picture as you boys and girls around the world. Good day if you're watching this, as I know you are. I've had word from a couple of people I know in Australia. The Kiwis, they're watching rowing again because they didn't win the rugby this morning, so they've decided to watch a bit of rugby again now, so it's always good to know.
I thought you might find a way to drop that.
Yeah.
This is a better race actually this time. Between Monkton and Lady Eleanor Hollies. I don't think either crew is particularly broken away yet.
No, Elizabeth Witt of LEH, she had a somewhat easier race earlier, but she looked to have a bit of something in the tank. So she's only about half a length though. And put on the gas every stroke. You do wonder if the scullers are even aware of these people that cycle along and shout at them, don't you?
Well, I was having this conversation the other day, and actually I remember doing countless ergos when I was younger, and we used to play music in the background, and I wouldn't be able to tell you a single song that played in 5 years of ergoing. So actually I paid very little attention to what was going on in the bank. But a lot of people take a lot of inspiration from it, so
Yeah.
I think it depends what sort of athlete you are. I was the selfish type, I think.
Just ends up being a bit of white noise. But
Yeah.
there again, you know, single scull is such a solitary thing, isn't it? You know, that relationship with your coach is very important in terms of having that support there. Whereas with a crew, you've got other people around you to give you support, blah, blah, blah. However, it's a good old race, this. In the top of the screen there, we can see that it was Duttart that overcame Bailey in the race before. So you're looking at junior single sculls. And we are watching here Caesar of Monkton Combe up against Elizabeth Witt of Lady Eleanor Hollis. And Witt of early age has led pretty much from the start, has not had it all her own way. She's been pushed very, very hard by this young sculler from Monkton Combe School. She's just managed to always keep it at about a quarter of a length. It may be slightly more now as they come up to the closing stages.
So our next race is underway. It's the last of the junior single scull quarterfinals. It's race 212. Shrewsbury School on the Berkshire station, J Hallsworth, and Exeter University P Campbell on the Buckinghamshire station. Just in the opening exchanges there. It's always very difficult to tell who's got the better of the two starts from behind the two crews, but it perhaps looks like Exeter are stretching out a little bit in their distinctive green and white kit. They've had a great few years on the rowing circuit. Exeter, they've built up a solid programme and they're starting to reap the rewards of it, getting good results across the board. They've had a succession of strong Bucks regattas and now they're representing their club and their university at probably the premier women's rowing event in the calendar. Campbell from Exeter University. On the left-hand side, bottom of your picture, is a couple of lengths up on our opposition from Shrewsbury School. Just see the drone coming overhead and it's sort of buzzing past us, and several times I've looked up expecting to see a honeybee preparing to swat it, but it's actually that fantastic drone which gives us such insightful and panoramic views of the Henley countryside and the two scullers punching their way down the course. And this one looks to be a slightly more foregone conclusion than perhaps the last race was. A sculler from Exeter, just the slightly longer stroke, more dynamic through the water, and it's paying dividends because she's got 3 lengths, I think, on her opponent from Shrewsbury School. You can just see there Alison Mowbray at the back of the launch, my co-commentary partner from this morning. She'll be giving you all the latest updates if you're here at the site. But if you're not and you're tuning in, listening to us from wherever you're listening to us, welcome to a beautiful Henley Women's Regatta.
And yeah, this race looks as if it's pretty much done. So why don't we do a few results, Tom? Go back maybe to...
junior doubles, maybe?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, junior doubles, race 205 was the first one, and that was a win for Marlow Rowing Club by a length. 206 was a win for Nottingham Rowing Club by 2 lengths over Oxford City. Tideway Scholar School were victors by an easily margin in race 207, and Llandaff by 2.5 lengths were winners in race 208. Moving on to the junior singles, we've had 3 of the 4 quarterfinals. Agecroft won the first one by 2.5 lengths. Twickenham Rowing Club won the second by a length and a half, and Lady Eleanor Hollis ran out winners by 3 lengths in race 211. So the race currently on the course is race 212, and in typically numerical fashion, race 213 will follow suit, which will be the first of the 4 quarterfinals for the junior Coxed Falls. That'll also signify our last block of races for the Saturday of the Henley Women's Regatta, and we'll be back again tomorrow morning with all the semis and all the finals.
And at the start, it is Beckett Rowing Club from Nottingham, nearest to the camera on the Berkshire station. Far side, in the middle of the river, it is the crew from Henley Rowing Club. Much fancied in this event, Henley.